This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everyone. It's Monday, 28th of November, and we're going to be working on focusing a little bit on the hamstrings today. We'll be using a tennis ball, and our first exercise will be seated on the mat. So come on down onto the mat. If you're standing, bring one knee down, and then both knees, and come to a seated position. The first rolling we're going to do is at the hamstrings. We'll use the ball. You'll bring it underneath one leg, okay, as if you're sitting on it. Bend your opposite leg for support. Hands are behind you. You will lift up and roll up and down on the back of the leg. You won't get all the way down to the knee, that's okay. So we want to get mainly the central body of the hamstring. Now, this exercise is quite easy, should be quite simple. Roll up and down between 5 and 10 times. And then we'll switch legs. Straighten the opposite leg, bring the tennis ball underneath, quite up high to the hip, and then you'll roll back and forth on the tennis ball. If you don't have a tennis ball, by the way, you can simply take two fists and rub up and down the back of the leg. We're going to be doing this exercise as well towards the end of class today. Okay? After rolling up and down on the tennis ball 5 to 10 times, relax and come up onto your knees. Now, the next exercise with the tennis ball, I'd like everyone to be very careful. If you don't have a tennis ball, I'll show you the exercise you could do without. You'll place the tennis ball behind one knee, and you'll sit down on the tennis ball as far as you can get. And it puts pressure on your calf muscle, but also on the hamstring. And you'll hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift back up and move the tennis ball down to the center of the calf. It's going to be at the center of the hamstring now. And you breathe 5, 4, stay there. For those of you who have any knee issues and this doesn't feel good, or you don't have a tennis ball, again, make two fists and just rub up and down the backs of the hamstrings. And finally, we bring the tennis ball right at the top of the heel, and you sit down and you get that pressure putting into the top of the hamstring now. And we hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Let's change legs. Place it right behind the knee and sit down as far as you possibly can. You're going to feel the pressure on the calf and the hamstring at the same time. Holding 5. Keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the ball, set it at the center of the calf, sitting down at the center of the hamstring. 5, 4, and if you don't have the ball, you just keep rubbing up and down the back of the leg. 3, 2, 1, and then take the ball right behind the heel, just above the heel. It's going to be at the Achilles tendon. And there's going to be pressure placed on the back, the top upper part of the hamstring. 3, 2, 1. Good job, everyone. Okay, take the ball out from underneath, and you can place the ball to the side. We won't be needing it. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And just here, notice how the backs of your legs feel. We've stimulated the hamstrings and the fascia of the hamstring, but also the calf muscles. So let's move into the back and take a deep breath in, curling the spine, and then breathing out, rounding the spine. Take your time moving here, breathing in and curling, breathing out, rounding. 2 more times, breathing in. Nice curl, breathing out. Once more, let's breathe in and curl. And breathing out and rounding. Coming back to a flat back. Let's stretch our right leg behind us and push the heel towards the floor. So your toes are tucked under, and you'll feel the stretch down into the calf, maybe into the back of the hamstring a little bit. Lift your head and take some deep breaths here. From here, lift the same leg and make a circle with the foot to release any tension that builds up in the ankle. Change the direction of the circle. Then let's lift the leg higher. This contracts through the hamstring and the glute. Bend the knee, bringing the heel towards the glute, and straighten the leg. So we're activating the hamstring. Bend and straighten. 3 more times. Bend, straighten. 2 more. Once more. Bring the knee down, and we'll go back to moving the spine. Take a deep breath in, curl, look skyward, and breathe out and round. Look to your belly button. Breathing in, let's curl. Breathing out, rounding, look to the belly button. Once more, breathe in and curl. And breathing out, look to the belly. Come back to a flat back, lifting the head. Stretch your left leg behind you. Press into the heel, press back, and then come forward again. Press back into the heel, pushing the heel back towards the floor, and then move the weight forward. 3 more times. Just take your time with this movement. 2, you should feel the stretch into the calf, maybe into the back knee and the back of the leg. And 1. Coming back, lift the leg now and make a big circle with the foot. With the leg lifted, you're already contracting a little bit your hamstring. Good. Change the direction of the circle. Now point the toe, lift the leg high, and let's bend the knee, see if you can get the heel towards the glute and straighten. Good. And again, bending and straightening. Keep breathing along with the exercise. 2 more times. Last one. Bring the knee back down to the earth. Open your knees and sink back into child's pose. You could turn the palms of the hands to the sky, loosen up the neck, let your head drop. Take a few deep, slow breaths here. Then looking forward, bring your palms down, fingers spread slightly. Come up onto the knees and tuck your toes under to take a downward facing dog. From here, pedal the feet right and left, getting the heels to move towards the floor. Feel that there's a nice stretch down the backs of the legs. Now step your feet back perhaps just a little bit, and we'll take a deep breath in and move into a plank position. Lift your chin, lift your chest forward. Press back to down dog. And again, breathe in, move into a plank position. Breathe out, move back to down dog. Once more, breathe in, move into a plank position. Softly lower your knees. Bring your chest down to the earth. Pointing your toes, lengthen your legs. And here, keep your hands under your shoulders. Simply lift your head and your throat and neck a little bit. Raise your right leg and bring it back down. Again, we're activating hamstrings. Left leg, bring it back down. Push up into a little cobra. Then the chest comes down, up onto the hands and knees. Walk your hands off the right-hand side of the mat. Press the hips back. Getting a nice stretch down the side body. Lifting back up, bring your hands off the left-hand side of the mat and press your hips back. Coming back up, hands onto the mat. Tuck your toes under, rise to downward facing dog. And begin softly stepping your feet forward. Coming to the front edge of the mat, bend your knees. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows pointing up to the sky. Lift your chin first, chest follows, and you come all the way up to a standing position. Arms can be stretched by your sides, and let's find that perfect posture. Feet hip width, toes open. Feel like you're slightly dialing the feet out. Ribs lift away from hips. Shoulders are open as wide as possible. Arms are stretched by your sides. Lengthen your throat and the chin parallel to the floor. Okay, hands to heart center, and let's get moving together. Deep breath in, let's stretch skyward. Get really long and expansive. Then bring your elbows down to your knees. Here's where we bend the knees. Press the hips back. Place your hands on the floor. Step one leg at a time back and into a plank position. From here, lower the knees softly. Lower the chest. Now, just as we did in the mobilization, first raise your right leg. Bring it down. Then raise the left. Bring it down. Push up into a cobra. Chest comes back down, up onto the hands and knees. Tuck in your toes, come to downward facing dog. And softly step first right leg forward, then the left. Keep stepping forward till you make it to the front edge of the mat. Bend your knees, hands to hips, elbows up, lift your chin first, chest follows. Coming up to a standing position, arms stretched by your sides. Perfect posture. Let's go again, hands to heart center. Good. Deep breath in, rise. Folding, elbows to knees. Hands to the floor, stepping back to a plank position. Move your knees down first. Move your chest softly to the floor. Raise your left leg first this time. Left, and then right. Legs down, rise to a cobra. Chest comes down. Push up onto your hands and knees first. Then tuck the toes and take downward facing dog. Begin stepping forward, this time with the left leg first. Left, then right. Softly stepping forward. Bend your knees, hands to hips, elbows point skyward. Lift chin, chest, coming all the way up to standing. Good, arms stretched by your sides. Let's keep going. Hands to heart center. Deep breath in, rise. Folding. Stepping back to plank. Knees come down, lower the chest. Raise right leg first. Then the left. Legs down, up into cobra. Push up onto the hands and knees, and then down dog. Begin stepping forward, right leg first. Little steps forward. Bend your knees, hands to hips, elbows up, lifting all the way up to standing, and stretch your arms by your sides. Good. Hands to heart center, let's keep going. Deep breath in. Folding forward. Stepping back, I'm gonna have a look at you. Step back. Good, lower the knees. Beautiful. Very nice, Finola. Good, Kathy. Left leg lifts this time. Lift the left. And then the right. Good. And then coming into cobra. Then you're down dog. Fantastic. Start with your left leg first, stepping forward, little steps. Once you're there, hands to your hips, bend your knees low, coming up to standing, arms stretched by your sides. Okay. We're going to add on to all of this. Hands to heart center. Let's keep moving. Deep breath in. Folding forward, elbows towards the knees, stepping back to your plank. Lower your knees, and just for good fun, let's do a push-up. Down you go, and up. Then all the way down, pointing your toes. Raise your right leg first, then the left, then into cobra, then up on the hands and knees and straighten to down dog. Raise your right leg and swing it as far forward as possible. Okay, spin your left heel down. Now, if you have a block, use the block. Place it under your left hand. If you have a pillow, you could use a pillow, as long as the hand is lifted up a little bit. So under the left hand, your right hand goes to your right ankle. Take a deep breath in, bending the knee. Be sure the back stays flat. And then breathe out and begin straightening as far as possible. The knee will stay slightly bent. Check your low back while you do this. So place maybe your right hand at the low back. Bend the knee. Notice how you can curve your low back. Straighten the leg. Notice how it pulls against the low back a little bit. So you may need to keep your knees slightly bent. Do it 3 more times. Bending, straightening. 2 more. Here's the last one. Bend and straighten. Good. Bend the knee. Now everyone, place your right elbow onto the right thigh. Set your left hand onto the left hip and twist your upper body to look upwards to the sky. Raise your left arm to the sky and hold it here. 3, 2, 1. Bringing the left hand down to the hip. Turn your body forward. Place your right hand at your right hip. We're going to step our left foot forward. Maybe you need to get the block or the pillow out of the way. This is going to use the right hamstring. Push off the back leg and step it forward, getting into chair, arms by your ears, bounce it here. 3, 2, 1. All the way up to standing. Good. Hands to heart center. Let's do it again. Deep breath in. Fold it. Stepping back to the plank. We'll do 1 push-up here. Knees come down, elbows come close to your sides and push back up. Move all the way down, pointing your toes, lift your left leg first, then the right, then come up to cobra, then down dog. Lift your left leg, send it as far forward as possible. Take the block or the pillow, place it under your right hand. Turn your right heel down so you have a lot of stability here. Left hand can go to the ankle. Breathe in, bending the knee. Breathe out, straighten the leg as much as possible. Remember, it doesn't straighten completely or it rounds the low back too much. Bend the knee, breathing in. Breathe out, straighten. 3 more times. Bending and straightening. Take your time with it. Breathing in. Breathing out once more. Breathe in and out. Rebend the knee. Set the elbow to the thigh. Right hand to the hip and just open up to your right. Raise your right arm to the sky. Stretch it skyward. Holding here. 3, 2, 1. Bring the hand to the hip. Then the left hand to the left hip as well. Maybe place the block or pillow to the side. Turn yourself forward. You're going to push off the right leg and come forward and into chair. Sinking down. 3, 2, 1. Come all the way up to standing. Notice how that works, the backs of the legs when we push off. Hands to heart center. We'll do 2 more rounds. Deep breath in. Folding. Stepping back to plank. Knees come down, 1 push-up. all the way down. Point your toes, raise right leg. Then the left. Cobra. Onto your knees and down dog. Right leg lifts. Bring it as far forward as possible. Take your block or your pillow. Right hand on the ankle. Turn your left heel in to create stability and place it on the floor. Breathing in, breathe out and straighten. 5 times. 4, 3, 2, 1. Rebend. Place the elbow on the thigh. Left hand to the hip. Raise the left arm. Hold it here, getting a nice twist through the body. Good for the back and shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Hands to hips. Turn your chest forward. Push off the back leg. Stepping forward to the chair. Sinking here. 3, 2, 1. All the way up to standing. Last round, ladies. Hands to heart center. Breath in. Folding forward. Stepping back to your plank. 1 push-up. All the way down. Left leg lifts. Right leg lifts. Then to cobra. And to down dog. Left leg, kick it forward. Use your pillow or your block. Turn the right heel in to stabilize. Breathing in, bend the knee. Breathe out, straighten the leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rebend the knees, set the elbow onto the thigh. Left elbow, left thigh. Right hand to the hip. Twisting open, let's raise the right arm, stretch it to the sky. Breathe deeply. 2, and 1. Hands to the hips. Turn your body forward. Push off the back leg, working the front hamstring, getting into chair and bounce it here. 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way up to standing. Good job. Very nice, everyone. Take a little step back to the center of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. And we're going to be doing a classic tree pose. This is the original tree from the Bihar School of Yoga. It's going to take one leg back. You'll take your right leg back. Raise your right arm to the sky and bring your left arm out to the side. So from the back, it looks like this. All right? To take it a little bit farther, just raise the toes off the floor, the back toes, and hold. You'll feel this is your hamstrings firing along with the glutes and along with the low back. It protects the low back. Lift your chest, hold it. 5. This is one of the exercises you could do at your office. 4. You could do this any time of day. At least once a week, we all should be doing this. 3. Keep the leg up, keep breathing. 2. And 1. Bring the foot down. Now here's where we're going to test. We're going to stretch right now. So bend your knees a little bit, slide your hands, actually slide them down the backs of the legs to feel the hamstrings, and get yourself bending forward. Feet are hip width. Get yourself bending forward to the point where you can really feel the hamstrings stretching. Okay? Set your gaze at the floor. Now, bring your hands to your low back and begin straightening your legs, and notice if your low back starts to round. If that's the case, your hamstrings are pulling too much on the sitting bones and it affects the low back. If you bend your knees, see if you can lengthen and curve the low back. That's what you want in this deep forward bend. Grab your ankles again and straighten the legs again and just do that little test. Are you rounding? Bend the knees and notice if you're flattening. You can see it in me. One more time, straighten the legs. There's a roundness that's created. Bend the knees and you can straighten the back a little bit more and focus more on the hamstring stretch. Hands to hips, elbows to the sky. Press down through your feet and lift up using the strength of your spine. And you come to standing. Good. Left leg goes back this time. Toes are touching the floor. Left arm up to the sky, right arm out to the side. So it's going to look like this. The left leg back, left arm up, right arm out to the side. If you would like to take it farther, lift the leg behind you. And there's a contraction through the hamstring of the leg that's lifted, as well as the glute in the back. Hold it here. Lift your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the foot down. Slide your hands down the front of your thighs this time. And then place your hands underneath your feet. This is called gorilla pose. So the hands go underneath. The tips of the fingers reach for the heels. Look at the floor and see if you can straighten your legs and notice what happens to the low back. Then rebend the knees and really decide for yourself which is going to be better, which feels right. Straighten the legs. For me, it moves too much into a stretch of the low back. When I bend my knees, I feel much more just the hamstrings. One more time. Straighten, and then bend. Good. Release your hands out from underneath. Hands to hips, elbows up to the sky. Press the hips back as you rise. It's a little more of a workout for the back. And release. Good job. Hands to hips again. Bend your right knee. Bring it out to the side. Go either to the ankle, a little bit higher than the kneecap, or the inner thigh. Arms go up in a V. Lift your chest and lift your eyes, focusing on one point. Breathe deeply in and out through the nose. I recently read an article that people who breathe more often from their nose can control their emotions. People who breathe in and out through the mouth more often have trouble controlling their emotions. Hands to the hips and bring the foot down. Changing sides. Left knee out to the side, either at the ankle, a little bit higher than the kneecap, or the inner thigh. Raise your arms up in a V position. Lift the chest, lift the eyes, and breathing here. 5. Good. Focus your eyes on one point. Breathing in and out through the nose. 3, 2, beautiful. And 1, well done. Hands to the hips. Bring your foot down. Step back to the front edge of your mat, placing your block or your pillow to the side. We'll use it in a little while. Hands to heart center. Let's move into plank position. Deep breath in. Folding, elbows to knees, going right down. Step back to plank. Lift your head. Pull your chest forward. Pull the belly button in tight. And if you'd like to go farther, we'll work the hamstrings along with the core. Right leg goes up. Bring it back down. Left leg goes up. Bring it back down. Again, right. Belly in, back down, left. Woo. One more time right. And one more time left. Good job. Knees come down. Lower yourself to your belly. Good job, everybody. Hands underneath the forehead and move the hips from side to side. Okay. Lift your head and shoulders and come up onto your elbows into a Sphinx pose. Thighs stay down, the hips stay down. Open your shoulders, lift your chin so your neck and throat get nice and long. Flex your right foot and bend the right knee. Pull the foot in as tightly as possible to the hip. This is going to activate the hamstrings while stretching at the same time the quadriceps. Hold it here. These are those two muscles that will work against each other. And usually the quadriceps are stronger than the hamstrings. Okay, let's release. Come on down and relax your low back. Hips go from side to side. Okay, lifting back up onto the elbows. Open the shoulders, open the throat, lift the chin. Flex your left foot and bring the left heel in towards the hip. Contracting the hamstring to get the heel in, and you can feel the stretch through the quadriceps. They're resisting. So let the hamstrings win. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the foot back down. Release, letting the hips go side to side. Lift your head back up, bend your knees, and let your heels touch each other with the toes pointing out to the sides. Bring your elbows out to the sides, and we're going to do parachute position. Lift the arms, shoulders, head, and chest, and lift your knees as high as possible, like you want to push your feet to the sky. Hold here, keep breathing through the nose. One more deep breath in, and come on back down, hands under the shoulders, push up onto the hands and knees. Walk your hands off the right-hand side of the mat, pressing the hips back. And let's change, hands off the left-hand side, press the hips back. Bring back up. Do a couple of cat and cows just to release a bit the spine, rounding and curving. Okay. Bring your knees forward, swing your feet around, and we're going to get into some of the deeper postures into the hamstrings, but also into the bridge positions. We'll start with the hamstring bridge. And this is another exercise you should do at least once a week. The first exercise is the tree pose standing, lifting the leg behind you. That you should do at least once a week. And this one for strong hamstrings. So let's lie back onto our backs. Walk your feet away from you so the knees are not as bent as they would be in a classic yoga bridge. This is the hamstring bridge. Knees are slightly bent, arms on the floor. Press down into the heels and lift your hips. This fires the hamstrings. Feel like you're pulling your heels towards your hips, and you can get even more of a contraction through your hamstrings. Excellent work, and we hold it here. 5, breathe deeply. 4, 3, good. 2, 1, lower the hips down. Woo, lift your knees up to your shoulders. Have your feet lifting up. Grab behind the thighs or around the ankles or at the bottoms of the feet and rock softly from side to side. Excellent. Okay. Now let's bring the feet down. Elbows into the floor to open up the chest. Lift the hips up, and we're going to work the perineum. Squeeze the knees together and pull the perineum up as you breathe out. Breathe in, open the knees. Here we go again. Pull the perineum up to the belly button. Breathing in, again. 3 more times. Last one. Lower the hips down softly. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees wide. Set your hands at the fronts of your hips to relax and let go. Now pressing the soles of the feet together, lift your hips up. The knees stay wide in this butterfly position. Arms on the floor, press the hips higher. 10, 9, we lift, lifting. 7, 6, 5, squeeze the glutes. 4, 3, 2, fantastic. 1, lower the hips down. Good job. Lift your knees. Yogic bridge now. Elbows into the floor, opening the chest again. Raise your hips as high as possible and hold here. You may need to readjust your neck and your head, and that would be good if you readjust it so you get a good position. Squeeze the glutes, really use the thighs to lift the hips, and breathe. One more deep breath in. And then raise your arms over your head, lowering the hips one vertebra at a time, very, very slowly, coming down to the floor. Good. Once you are down, let your knees fall to the right. Turn your head to the left. Hold for just a moment. And then lifting the knees one at a time, let your knees fall to the left. Turn your head to the right. We hold just a moment. And then coming back to center. Keep your back lightly curved, okay, without pressing the low back into the floor. Raise your right leg. Now we're going to get into a deep hamstring stretch. As much as possible, straighten the leg, foot flex, keeping curve in the low back. Hold the leg towards you and notice, wow, how it goes really into the leg because the back doesn't round out. So you're keeping the tailbone pushed back into the floor. Hold this position and then see if you can straighten your left leg on the floor. Now, we're going to take our left hand and rub up and down the back of the thigh. This helps to get the hamstring nice and warm, gets more circulation into that region. Now, take your fist and beat your fist against the hamstring. From the hip all the way to the knee, back down again. Should feel pretty good. Then rub the hamstring again. Heating it up. And then beat it with the fist. One more time, rubbing up and down the back of the hamstring. And then beat it with the fist. That's it, getting lots of circulation into that region. Okay, flexing the foot as much as possible. Begin pulling the leg even farther towards you. You should get a little bit farther now. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out, go a little farther. One more time, deep breath in. Breathing out a little bit farther. Good, bend the knee. Keeping your left leg stretched on the floor, allow the right knee to move to the left-hand side of the mat. So you go into a spinal twist, right hip comes off the mat, stretch your right arm out to the side and look at the right hand. Nice deep spinal twist with deep, slow breaths. Then raise your right arm and just roll to your left-hand side. Bend both knees so you've got a good balanced position on your side. Grab your right ankle, push the knee behind you, hip forward. Stretching out the quadriceps. Good. Wonderful. Bring the right knee to the right shoulder and softly roll back onto your back. Okay, both knees bent. You got the curve in your low back. Raise your left leg now and see if you can straighten completely the leg to really get the hamstring. Full flex of the foot and pull the leg towards you. If your knee starts to bend, that's fine. You're still getting that wonderful stretch down the hamstring. Find that stretch. And when you're ready, stretch your right leg onto the floor. Pull the left leg towards you. We'll take our right hand, we'll rub up and down the back of the leg, heating up the hamstring, getting even more circulation there. Take your fist and beating up and down the back of the leg. Use the palm of your hand, rub up and down the back of the leg. And then using the fist. Whew. One more time, rub up and down the back of the leg. And then using the fist. Good. Grab behind the leg and pull the leg even farther to you. Stay with your deep breaths. See if you can go a little bit farther next time you breathe out. Good. Bend that left knee. Hook the foot around the right thigh and let the knee go to your right. Stretch your left arm out to the side for a deep spinal twist. Perfect. Lift your left arm to roll to your right-hand side. Grab a hold of the left ankle and push the knee behind you, hip forward for a stretch of the quadriceps. Bring the left knee to the left shoulder and roll onto your back. Grabbing the knees, rock from side to massage the low back. And maybe come into a happy baby pose, grabbing the ankles or the bottoms of the feet, and again, rocking from side to side. Rebend the knees, lift your head, nose between the knees. Lower your head down and set your feet flat on the floor. Keeping the knees bent, hand onto the tummy. Feel the upper belly rise as you breathe in. That's going to be the diaphragm expanding. And release as you breathe out. And again, deep diaphragmatic breath. And release as you breathe out, breathing in and out only from the nose. One more time, deep breath in. And release as you breathe out. We're going to practice square breath now. Breathe in, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. Hold your breath. Breathe out. Hold your breath out. And again, breathe in. Hold your breath. This calms the nervous system. Breathe out. Hold your breath out. One more time, breathe in. Hold your breath. Breathe out. Hold your breath out. Breathe normally and naturally. And remember your block or your pillow. Take it now. Lift your hips up and place the block or the pillow underneath your hips. So your hips are raised a little bit. Raise one leg at a time up to the sky. Viparita Karani, excellent exercise for circulation, also for relaxation. If you find it's difficult to keep your legs up, you could grab a hold of your pant leg to hold them there, or the backs of your legs, or you could place a strap around the bottoms of the feet and just hold the strap. Up to you, but we'll hold it for at least 1 minute to get the benefits of an inversion. You can close your eyes and breathe deeply and naturally. After working the legs, this is a perfect ending just before Shavasana, before relaxation exercise. As we allow the legs to drain, and for all the work that we did to install itself into our legs. Good. Everyone bend your knees. Place your feet softly on the floor. Lifting the hips up, take the block or the pillow out from underneath, place it to the side, and lower the hips down. Stretch one leg at a time onto your mat. Hands can be turned to the sky. And simply take some deep, slow breaths in and out. Soften and relax your feet. Softening the legs, hips, and low back. Soften now your hands, your arms, and your shoulders.
Soften the middle back and the upper back. Softening the neck, the throat, the jaw. Letting go of any tension you might be holding in the face. Soften the chest and the tummy. Imagining that the internal organs, when they relax, they function more optimally. Release any tension. Imagine now that on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being completely relaxed, 10 is where you are right now. At your next breath out, move yourself down to a 7. Now move down to a 4. Down to a 3. 2. And 1. Remain at 1. Softly deepen your breath now. Take a few deep, slow breaths in and out. And begin moving your fingers and your toes. Move your hands, your feet. Come back gently. Raising your arms over your head, stretch from fingers to toes. And then lift your knees up against your chest and squeeze them against the chest, rocking from side to side. Then roll all the way to your right-hand side. Your right arm can be underneath your head. Blink your eyes a few times. And then setting your hands down onto the floor, push down to lift from the side. Come to a seated position. Good, very nice. Let's rub our hands together. Bring the hands over the face, softly tapping around your eyes. And shake out. This time, rub your hands together. We're going to do a fun little facial exercise. I want you to place your hands to either side of your face, just at the corners of your eyes and at the cheeks. And you're going to pull the skin out to the side. And I want you to squeeze your eyes shut and make a kiss with your mouth. And then release, opening the eyes. Do it again. Kiss with the mouth, squeeze the eyes shut. And one more time. You're pulling softly against the skin and you squeeze, work against the hands. And then relax. Hands come down to your heart center. Good. Everyone have a lovely afternoon. Thanks for joining. Namaste. Very good job, everybody. Well done.